Hello and welcome to another video on how to use the SpeechBox Articulation app for macOS desktop, iPhone, and iPad. My name is Henry, and today I'm going to take you through how to use the multi-user data collection feature of SpeechBox. So the first thing you're going to do is make sure that you have data collection enabled. So you open up your settings by tapping the gear icon in the either an open box or on the main window. And as you can see, I have the data collection switch enabled, so we're good to go. Let's then open up any one of our boxes. I'll pick this So Fun custom box that I made earlier. And then you're going to tap on the chart icon in the upper right hand corner here, and you can see that I already have 3 different students enabled in data collection. Now if I'd like to add another one in here, I simply tap on the Add New Client button in there, and that'll allow me to add another person or student to the system. I'm going to cancel that out because I already have enough to show you what we need to do. All right, so the way this works is you simply just keep going through the different students and you can switch between them very easily, and you record all the data that you want, and then you're going to go and generate different reports. There are some different settings that I'll walk you through. So to simply choose between the different students that you want to work with, you just tap on them and you see that it kind of activates it. So I have this JB Jonah Bonin student in here that I tapped on. I have a Henry and then a Hank in here, and you just tap between them to select the student that you're working with. And when you close out of the menu, if you look at the lower right hand corner, you'll see the little icon or their little photo, if you added a photo, will appear. So here I have the Jonah Bono student selected, but if I want to choose the Hank student, you'll see that Hank is now selected. So that'll tell you what student is activated that you're going to be recording the data for. So now that I'm in here, I'm going to start collecting some data for Hank, and I'm going to quickly turn off use prompts because I'm going to go through this a little bit quicker, and that will stop it from saying the audio prompts. So I'm going to open up Pumpkins, which was a custom photo that I added in earlier. And now that I have worked with, let's say, the student that I have active here on Pumpkins, now what's really great about this is some other apps, the way they kind of collect data is they'll have a green check mark or a red X or something that identifies to the student that they're working with that they got it correct or incorrect. And what we've tried to do is we understand that it's kind of we don't want it to be a negative experience when you're working with students, especially young children, and they know that they did something wrong. We don't want to make it very obvious when you're collecting data. So we've tried to obscure how data is collected, and we've come up with a creative way that seems to work really, really well. The way it works is that since you swipe off the photos to make them go away, depending on the direction that you actually swipe the photo is how it's going to collect the data. So simply tap on the photo that's open in here, and you start dragging in the different directions. Now you see when I drag in the different directions, an icon is going to appear with a little a bar there, and it has a little icon on there. Now each of those icons will represent a different piece of, whether it was incorrect, prompted, or correct. So if you go up, see that you have the cookie icon, that means that it was correct. And then if you go to the right here, it was P, that means that it was prompted. And then if you go to the left here for the apple, that means that it was approximate. And if you go down, it was an ice cream, that means it was incorrect. So if you swipe this down, incorrect, and by default, what it'll do is it'll put the photo back in the box so you can try it again later. Let's open up a different photo here. So let's say I get one that is correct and I swipe it off the screen. Then the next one, I open up cup and I wanted to have it as, again, the present for prompted. Or maybe I had another correct one in here. Then I had another one. And then maybe this one was, again, apple, and that was an approximate. And you simply just keep going through the different words with your student. Okay, and then now that I've gone through these, let's say I wanted to switch to the different student. So it's very easy to do that. So you just simply tap on the chart icon up there, and then I switch the data over to the other student, and I see the icon in the lower hand corner. Now I'm collecting data for the other student. So it's very, very easy to switch between different students. So if you're doing a group session, you can very, very quickly go back in here and switch between the different students that you want to collect data for. Okay, so we'll get another correct. And also it keeps it between the different boxes. So you notice I'm still working on the Jonah Bona student here, but I've gotten in here and I have gone into the different box, and I want to switch between to the other student here, and then it moves it to the next student. So this is a really quick and easy way to work with multiple students, to collect data for a student. It's not going to make the student feel like they're getting a lot of the answers wrong or they need a lot of help. It's going to just kind of obscure it and make it a little bit more fun. You can say, okay, now let's drag the photo until we see the ice cream, and they're not going to necessarily know what it means. So it's going to keep their confidence up. All right, now let's say that I was working with one of the students and maybe I accidentally swiped it the wrong way, or I wanted to go and change the last option that I had. So I'll quickly open up a photo in here. So let's say I have this karate photo here and I dragged it towards the prompted, but I said, you know what, that's actually more correct now that I think of it. So you simply open up the data collection menu, and then you'll see adjust last entry for the word karate in the lower corner here. Now there's two things that you can do. You can actually delete that entry here altogether. So you simply tap on the delete here and it'll say, are you sure that you want to remove the last data entry point here? Or if you want to change it, you can see that the gray P for prompted was selected, but I really want to actually make that correct. You just simply tap on the cookie icon and it'll show you which student you had, and then you just changed the last data entry in there for your student. So it's as simple as that if you want to make a change or completely delete that. All right, so now let's run some reports. So say you are done for the day with your students and you wanted to export a report. And this is also great too for parents as well. So my son has apraxia, and what we were doing for quite some time is when we would be assigned homework from our therapist, we would then go and work on a box. And then even though I'm collecting data to help my son out, what I was doing was I was collecting the results of the homework when we would work with him, and then I would print it out or email the report to his speech therapist so she can kind of see the progress that he's making at home. So let's go in here and tap on some of the reports. So we'll just choose this student Henry that we have open right here, and you just tap on the reports icon from here, and this is going to bring up all of your students' reports, and we're going to save them all to the cloud as well, so you can access them from any one of your devices that has SpeechBox installed. You can change the session dates in here, and what's really great about SpeechBox is that if you didn't export a report on that particular day, it saves the data as you go through. So I can go back to maybe a session that I did last week and I wanted to export the data in here, so it's going to save it over time as you use it, even if you don't create a report for that particular day. So today is November 7th, and we're working on just some of the different boxes there. It gives you an option to add some session notes. So maybe want to say like, Henry did a great job, or maybe there's some other notes that you wanted to put in there. And then you have an option in here to also customize the report. So we'll click into that. And this allows you to set your contact info, which will show up on the report. So if I'm a company, I have my company name, my address, my phone number, my email address, and I even have an option here to upload a company logo, and I'll show you where that shows up. So now that I've chosen the session date, I have my session notes, and then I've customized the report, and then I click Create PDF. Okay, and now you have the custom report that you just created loaded here, and as you can see, it's customized it with your contact information, even your company logo, and it's got a lot of different information in here. Your session notes have been carried over, and what it does is it's going to give you a breakdown. So here's all of the different boxes we worked on with this particular student. So we worked on a sports box, and if you see, we also have the data, we worked on the So Fun box. So what we're going to see here is we're going to see the different correct, incorrect, approximate, and prompted, and it's going to show you how many different words or target sounds you worked on in each box. So we worked on a total of 5, and out of those 5, 2 of them were correct, so it was a 40% correct, and we had 1 incorrect, and an approximate and prompted, and it shows you the different words or phrases that you worked on. And if you scroll down here to the next page, you'll see we worked on 2 different words in the So Fun box, and we were at 50% of each. So this is really, really powerful, and you can, if you're a speech therapist, you can use this to kind of keep records of how your clients are doing over time. And if you're a parent like myself, what you can use this for is to communicate the progress of how your child is doing to your speech therapist or their child study team. And if you want to export it, you just tap on this button in the upper right hand corner there. So again, this is a really great way to share and collect information. And if you made a mistake on the report and you wanted to produce it again, just simply swipe to the left on the report there, tap on the delete button, and then just regenerate the report after you made an edit, just like this, and then it'll bring it up, and you'll see that it reflects the change that you made. Another thing that you can also do is create a CSV file, which is really great for exporting to or opening up the file in a Microsoft Excel or like a Google Sheets or Apple Numbers format. And you tap on Create CSV Report there, and you'll see that it's going to create the raw data. It's a little bit tiny here on the screen here, but it creates the raw data that if you opened up in your like a Microsoft Excel, you can then use it to create custom reports or charts or any other things that you need. And you can even save all of the data for the student in here. So if you wanted to make a very, very long progress report, it'll pull everything that the student has worked on in all time that was saved in SpeechBox. All right, so now we close out of that. And one other thing I'm just going to quickly show you, if for some reason you needed to change any of the clients in here, you can go in here and change the photo, the date of birth, the person's name, and that will also reflect in all of the reports when you generate a new one. This is how you use the SpeechBox data collection. Thanks very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.